let's jump into this real quick. So, good old Baker back for real now. Uh, so D. Orlando Ledbetter, who's been with like the Atlanta Journal for forever, uh, good journalist. Basically, he gave his synopsis on Kevin Stefanski. He said he had a dumpster fire at the quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders closed out last season with 7 starts. And, he's doing his job, but, I'm not going to say he has the full context of it. Uh, so, of course, here comes Baker. Failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text and call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. He's talking about Kevin Stefanski. And if anybody knows Baker, Baker is petty. And, when we talk over here at Dino's, when we talk over here, we're going to talk truth. And we're going to talk with context. And two things can be right at the same time. If anybody know me, I am a Baker fan. Baker did lead the Browns to the playoffs, beat the Steelers in the playoffs in the pandemic year. Had a great game against Kansas City. This is just a quick backstory. Then the next year, Baker came in. I think he played pretty decent for the first couple games, and then he hurt his shoulder. Tried to play through it. I think the organization wanted him to play through it too. It just screwed everything up. So that means Baker played bad on his 5th-year option, I think, or something like that. And they saw the window to get Deshaun Watson, so they pretty much kicked Baker to the side. Now, there's context to that, right? Now, at the same time, if you know Baker when Baker first came into the league, when he had the moment in Ohio State where, he did all the grabbing of his junk and planting the flag in Ohio State's middle of the field and all that. Everybody knows Baker is very brash. He's a little over the top, or he was, especially when he first came into the league. Over the top, all of these things, right? And all the little run-ins he had, he had the little situation with the cops. He was running from the cops because he was drunk or whatever the case may be. So Baker was a wild child. He was a wild child. And he plays with a big chip on his shoulder. So a lot of what Baker was doing when he first came in, Baker did have a lot of immaturity. He's even talked about it. He had a lot of immaturity, but his immaturity kind of worked to his advantage too at some points, and then at other points it kind of hurt him. So I think his immaturity was it was part of the reason why Cleveland let him go. That was part of the reason. But at the same time, the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are the Cleveland Browns. And you know what I mean when I say that. They are a dysfunctional organization that got too many hands in the pot. They don't know if they're going left or right. And it was just a bad marriage. It worked for a second. Kevin Stefanski is not uh, he's not innocent in the situation. He was I think he's a decent coach. I think he has some good points, but he's very rigid. And he exactly wants what he exactly wants. He did not draft Baker Mayfield. Uh, John Dorsey drafted Baker Mayfield. And when he drafted Baker Mayfield, he was with Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens was the offensive coordinator for the Browns, and then they fired him after a year because that was supposed to be him and Baker was like thick as thieves. And Baker was throwing for yards that year, but it just didn't equate. Freddie just was not a head coach. Okay, fine. They bring in Kevin Stefanski, and they analytics based. Baker got this wild child personality. They just didn't mesh. Like Kevin Stefanski is like super buttoned up. Now I hope as he's taking this Atlanta job, he loosens up more because I know the Brown situation in itself could make you even more screwed on tight, screwed up like tense. So I thought that situation was just oil and water. It was just oil and water situation. Uh, like I said, Baker had immaturity issues. A whole bunch of craziness was coming out about Baker. But Baker did want to be in Cleveland. Baker wanted to. He wanted to be the guy that fixed Cleveland. But like I said, Baker had attitude problems in Cleveland. He was doing a lot of goofy stuff. You go check with. I think Jason Lloyd had put something up the other day. So did Daryl Reiner and the other reporters. So Baker wasn't like innocent in it either. Like I said, it was a marriage that just did not work. It was a marriage that did not work. But I'm mostly blaming on the Browns. Baker had his fault in it too. Baker was able to, go on a humbling type of journey. Carolina, the Rams, whatever, it back up and really learn how to play the position. Now he's in Tampa with his own team, right? But now Kevin Stefanski's down there. Now Kevin Stefanski down there. Kevin Stefanski got a team down there. He got a lot of weapons, so a lot of things are in place with that team down there. Now we'll see how it turns out. But did the rivalry in the NFC East just turn up? Oh yes, it did. And if you don't think Baker, that old chip on Baker's shoulder, is burning and it gets bigger by the minute, you must be mistaken. He's about to have one of his best years going into the 2026 season, just because Kevin Stefanski's down there. So is Baker petty? Absolutely. Baker's absolutely petty. But that's who he's been. That's part of his shtick. Now I always wonder if Baker don't have an enemy, how does he play? You know. And so far he's been pretty good. Like this year was just a rough year for him or whatever the case may be. Hurt a shoulder again. But with Kevin Stefanski down there, oh, he gonna turn up. He gonna turn up. I think he did Hugh Jackson the same way. When Cincinnati was there, Baker used to light up Cincinnati because he used to see Hugh Jackson. So, you know, it's a part of Baker's stick. That's just who he is as a person. But were him and the Browns both wrong on both sides? They were. The Browns were more wrong than Baker. Baker was only 20-something years old. The Browns organization was supposed to be able to keep him in play, develop him as a quarterback and as a man. And as you can see, they failed to do both. So we're going to move